Hello and welcome. I'm Lauren G, the producer of the Discover Local podcast, made possible with funding from William Morris Big Local. In this series, we discover the stories behind Walthamstow's independent businesses and the incredible people who run them. Join us as we explore their journeys, challenges, and the impact they've had on our community.
My name is Leon Mead, and we are in Walthamstow, East London, North East London, East London.
What do you do in this building?
I run a studio called Brookdale House Studios, and also run a management company called Costas Music Management, and we manage the London Community Gospel Choir.
When did you fall in love with music?
I've been brought up in music. My father's a musician, and growing up in the church, you kind of develop that passion and love for music, and the effects it can have, on people. And that's when I really realized that, music was something special, and it was gifted. And just kind of went through life picking up the drums as my first love, and just playing with different, youth bands and youth choirs, and that just developed more, I guess, and that's where it all started.
So what led up to you deciding to open this studio?
This studio here is the base for the London Community Gospel Choir. Now, this choir, my father started in 1982, and they went through a long period of time having to hire out other rehearsal studios to do their weekly rehearsals, and as you can imagine, that can get quite costly. So his dream was to develop within this kind of in Waltham Forest Borough, and develop a artistic hub, a creative hub, somewhere where musicians can rehearse and create music, record high quality standards, and get the best gearing, get the best musicians down here to play and to make those magic moments happen. And when this building came available, I think this was almost 20 years ago, he jumped at it. It was an old, I think some Jewish guys owned it, and they were jewelers, or they were dealing jewels or something here. And then downstairs used to be a dungeon. But when he walked in, he was like, okay, we can definitely knock all these walls out and we can make something. So it was a good space. I actually found some old digital makeups, mocks of what we were trying to think just now. I'll show you after. And and that was it. That was the inspiration. It was Heart in the Music of Walthamstow is where we lived. We lived in Hyde Park, and we wanted to keep things in East London. Things started off in Hackney and Leighton, and then we kind of set home here. So we wanted to do something for the local communities, musicians. There's loads of musicians in Walthamstow, I'm sure you've seen, walking up and down with guitars and cellos and stuff. And that's it. And then it's still growing. It's 20 years later almost. So,
can you give me like an overview of what those 20 years have been like? What's been the journey for these last 20 years? We
started small, obviously. You can't always go in unless you've got that funding just to go in and go, okay, we're gonna put it all on the table. So we made the best. The first little bit of studio downstairs, maybe it was just a back room. It wasn't soundproof or anything. It was just a back room, and we just brought our home gear. A few producers here, and we just set up a little system, and we were working from that. And that's when the MPC 2000 XL was around. I don't even know about these stuff. They used to make these little beats in a little zip. It was way different from what it is now, 100%. But and then we just upgraded as we went along. We tried to hire out the place more. Obviously, before where it was just pretty basic, we couldn't hire it out so much. It was just like it wasn't ready. So managed to take some money out of the property and just reinvest it, and had some of the office redone and the studio downstairs done and soundproofed and treated, and got a really nice desk, a Neve 6. and some other little treats. And here we are today. Loads of people come through here to rehearse, to do their recordings or production rehearsals. We have people like Mel C and Tyler Temple used to come and do his pre-tour rehearsals here. And, loads of people have come through. And it's a really nice, almost like a private studio vibe when you come. Other studios, when you go to, especially in central London, it's just like people running up and down, bands next door playing when you're trying to rehearse, and it's that kind of headache. So we wanted to just eliminate that here. Is what we wanted to do, and make it feel like everybody who comes to use the space has got their own creative environment for the day. That's what they're paying for.
What other clientele do you guys have? Anyone that we might know?
There's been a few. So we've had Beverly Knight here. She recorded her single with the choir, and DJ Mark Knight. So Mel C, Daly, what's his name? Peter from the Rolling Stones. Sally Porter. Mo Brandis.
I've seen a van with all the Stones.
Yeah, there's loads. I can keep going. And people that the choir's collaborated with, and we tend to have a lot of our rehearsals set. Well, we do have our sessions here, but we invite the guests to come and just to kind of meet the choir in their base and do that kind of thing. And we've recorded some great music here as well downstairs.
Do you have any favorite studio memories here, like sessions that were just exceptionally good?
Oh man, there's been a few. I think most recent one is with an artist called Mo Brandis. He was writing for Universal Music, did a collaborative album, and he had the choir on 10 of those songs. And beforehand we were kind of figuring out how we were going to record 10 songs in, it was like 8 hours. Seemed like a long time, but it's not. When it comes to recording vocals, can be quite repetitive, especially if the choir's tired, But he came in and the music was just amazing, and the way he'd organised everything up, and it was really it was enjoyable. It was professional, and it was just like 10 songs. The choir loved it, and it's not always easy to keep people kind of like energized for that period of time, but that was a really good session. Yeah.
Why do you love Walthamstow?
Walthamstow is like, this is my home. This is where I grew up. I used to go to the pub when I was, I don't know if I should say this, I was 15 after school, going there, not having a drink, but playing pool and just, having that whole pub life, do some dance and stuff. And then basketball courts that I used to spend 9 hours a day at with my friends and family, my school in Rushcroft, just down the street. So these are the streets that I grew up on. So it's just one of those things that I still think it's one of the best boroughs in London, personally. It's the borough of arts and culture. So that's why, we want to kind of keep that energy alive here and just give back to what kind of nurtured us, or nurtured me as a young kid. I spend about 3 days in Walthamstow a week. Come down. But today this needed just a clean. You have no idea the amount of stuff. Madness. But I've got my daughter downstairs. She's on work experience. Yeah, so she's been helping me organise the place and doing some stuff. And then she vanished at one point. I had enough. Sit down watching probably Love Island or something.
Thank you for tuning in to the Discover Local podcast, brought to you by William Morris Big Local. We hope you've enjoyed getting to know the inspiring entrepreneurs in our community. To learn more and support these businesses, visit us at www.wmbiglocal.org. Keep discovering local and stay connected. Recording, editing and sound design by Nello, with music by Josette Joseph.